link. Today, we're talking about how to zhuzh up that LinkedIn profile, particularly so you can get global clients. Now, if you don't want global clients, that's fine. I'm sure you can still learn something from today. I am not a LinkedIn expert or influencer or anything like that. There are some things I have been doing over the past 6 to 8 months that really worked for me. So for my fellow immigrants who are out here, just want you guys to know, in addition to anyone who is not, hey, Art Jones, hey, Paulette. And my friend name is Paulette. I added the A to your name, and that's not what you asked for. Hey there, Erica. Okay, so let's get into it. We got a lot going on. I have a workbook for you all. It is in the description of this video. We're going to go through that. We're going to really talk about the foundation, right? So this is what happened. I didn't have a LinkedIn profile before. I created one in January. And so there was a series of things that I had to do. So as we go through this, I want you to think about the first 3 months are going to be that you build your foundation. At the time, it doesn't matter if anyone's following you, okay? It completely doesn't matter because the algorithm doesn't really know you exist anyway, particularly if you're not writing content that is there to attract your ideal client, right? So I want you to take the first month to 3 months, and that's going to feel yucky, right? Because you want to get some dopamine and you want to get some likes and some engagement. That is so not how LinkedIn works, right? So it's not about virality on LinkedIn. It's about connections. So there's some strategic things you're going to have to do. So if you just walk with me on the first 1 to 3 months, you're just going to be creating content that is keyword optimized for your ideal client. From month 3 to 4, you're going to interact with people and you're going to pitch. And then from 5 to 6, you're going to market. Does that make sense? So don't worry about anything but creating content that makes sense for the first 3 months. If you can give me that and do it every day, yuck, okay, it sucks. But you can use AI, so don't get stressed out about that, all right? So let's just go over what we're going to talk about today. All right, so the client journey on LinkedIn, how prospects discover and evaluate your LinkedIn profile. If you're here with me live and you have a LinkedIn profile, I encourage you to network with the other people who are in the comments. Please put out your LinkedIn link so people can follow you and join and all that great stuff. So map your ideal clients' pain points to the profile in their elements. Okay, so next, what's going on with that? Okay, next, your profile versus your personal brand. So if you are currently using LinkedIn like you are using it as a resume, I'm going to try to encourage you to change that a little bit so you can be more competitive in this industry. But also for those of you who are entrepreneurs, freelancers, that type of thing, it's really important that you do that so that you'll show up in search. Many companies may name this particular title one thing, and if you just operate off of a position title, it's going to be harder for you to show up in search. So we're going to talk about the difference between a resume and a LinkedIn profile, the know, like, and trust framework. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the global mindset shift, why LinkedIn is the ultimate global networking tool for psychology of international business and relationship. And in that, we're also going to talk about a couple things. We're also going to cover, and I have a monitor on this side if you're wondering why I keep looking over there. We're going to talk about profile optimization. So that's why the first 1 to 3 months is so important, because you want to get your LinkedIn profile optimized first. And you don't have to worry about all of the things when nobody's coming to your house in the first place, right? So you can calm down the stress, but you're still producing content so the algorithm can know about you. The first 3 months, the only person you should care about knowing about you is the algorithm, okay? And so we're going to talk about the profile optimization to make that as best as possible. So when people do come to talk with you, that they'll be interested and they can see, oh, you know what you're talking about. You've done these things, that thing. If yours is just a ghost town, it's really hard to make that association. Content strategy and engagement. We're going to talk about the type of content that you need to create based on your audience. And if you're here with me live, there's some things I'm going to want you to do. And then when we come back from break, you can type it in the chat. We're going to take some time to answer some questions and look at your information. And at the end, we're going to do some advanced strategies and tools you can use. And at the very end, we're going to do live questions and answers. So after we come back for the break, I'm also going to do like a very quick Q&A so that if anyone got stuck in between what you had to go do, you'll get some answers there. So I'm going to teach for a couple minutes, maybe anywhere from 15, 20, 30 minutes, right? And then on break, the first break is going to only be like 10 minutes. We have the workbook. I want you to go answer the questions that are in the workbook. And then you're going to come back. You're going to need to have ChatGPT. You can have a free account. That's fine. If you want Canva, you can use it, but we're not going to spend too much time on graphics. If you guys care about graphics, we'll focus on that in the 3 to 4 month period, because graphics and none of that matter at the beginning. Again, nobody's coming to your house in the first 3 months anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is about planting seeds. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it's really, really, really important. Okay, so let's quickly talk about how people actually search. Here we go. All right. So we're on LinkedIn. So this is a way that you can search for your ideal client, as well as this is what people are doing when they're searching for people. So up here at the top, you see we have like accountants specifically for nonprofits. But I want you to pay attention to over here where it's all filters. Okay, so this part is probably the most important part of search, because people are using this to find you, but this is also where you can find your ideal client and make sure that you're following them. So you can do first connections, second connections, third connections, right? You can put your locations, you can do US, I'll do UK. Those are usually the markets I want. If you're looking for a specific company. Now, this is what I want you to notice. Do you see where it says current company? This is because of the connections that I personally have. These are the companies that they work for. This is going to vary based on your connections. So if you are connected with a bunch of like friends and family, that's actually going to be to your detriment, because they're probably not going to be connected to the people that you need to be connected to. And LinkedIn limits your reach that way, which is why they encourage you to kind of network and do all those things. We'll get into that later, but I want you to know that. So connections, followers, past companies that they may have worked with. And you see, again, Deloitte, KPMG. Again, a lot of my people are coming from the US to the East Coast because that's where my network was. And so that's why that's showing up. Industry. But I want you, again, if you want to be in a particular country and you want particular languages, go ahead, click whatever is relevant here to you. But this is where I want you to focus, right here. Title. So title, you can put what I put, accountant. I want you to think about the various types of titles they may have, and you can put that here. And let me just put accountant for right now. Or you can say bookkeeper. Is bookkeeper one word or two? I don't think I know. What we about to see. All right. Okay, so if you're looking for potential people to connect with, your ideal client, this is how you will use this. You can look for various people here who would match that, and then you can attempt to connect with them. Do not do this your first 1 to 3 months. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I don't recommend that you attempt to connect with people if you have not put content on your page that makes sense as to why they should connect with you. If you already know them, fine. But most likely what people tend to do is you send a connection, they'll go to your profile and see if you're relevant to connect with. If you're not, they're probably going to bypass it. So, or either they'll just connect it and pay no attention. So please go get the content and build a nice house before you come out here trying to find people. But I want you to know that this is the best kind of way to search. Is that making sense? Are people follow? We good? Let me check the comments. Okay, we're good. Okay. So, this is what you will use to go and find the type of people. Now, as you're doing your research, you can look for your target audience and see if they are active on LinkedIn. You can see about some of the things that they're posting, some of the jobs that they're posting, some of the problems, if they're posting any problems. Most companies aren't doing that anymore, but you can tell what people need based on the positions that they are posting for. So for me, I'm doing AI automation. So I'll look for them saying if they're looking for somebody to do RPA or just do stuff with Python or automation. I'll look for things like that on the profiles. And then I know when I need to pitch, then I'm going to pitch with posts that are relevant to that. Does that make sense? So don't send out the connections yet until you've done your 1 to 3 months of creating the content. So that's going to be super important. Let's talk about your resume versus your brand. There's another search way I wanted to tell you. Is it? No. Okay. All right. Let's talk about your resume versus your brand. And this person is a marketing manager at TechCorp. And so that is their position. Here's the thing. People are getting laid off. People are starting their own businesses. People are doing all of those things. And so when you work for a corporation, there is a mindset that you are the position in which you were hired for. But the problem with that is that a whole nother company or a whole nother organization may call that something completely different, or it's so ambiguous that someone can't immediately tell if they need to have you in their life. So for example, if you do project management can be in the field of construction, it can be in the field of nonprofit work, it can be in everybody's field. So if you just say that that's what you do, it's not clear what you do so the person can say, oh, I want that, right? So when you think about it, kind of talk about what that looks like. So we have I help B2B SaaS companies struggling with low conversion to generate 40% more qualified leads through data-driven content strategies. One, if somebody is a founder or a CEO of a SaaS company and their conversions have gone down, then they may be interested. This description could also say something like, I help with churn rates. And in a SaaS company, that's when people sign up and they immediately go. That percentage is what a lot of software as a service companies stress out about. And so if you're saying something like that and someone sees it, then they immediately know what you do. You do not want, and this is even if you want to get a job, not necessarily as you're an entrepreneur, people need to know what value you bring very, very quickly in a matter of about 7 seconds, because people are not going to sit there and try to decipher what you do. Okay, so if someone's a senior software engineer at ABC company, but like at what, right? So I help fintech, financial tech startups drowning in technical debt build scalable platforms that handle 10 million plus transactions without breaking. Why is that important? Because their ideal client can read that headline and know, I need this person. 10 million transactions is a lot. And if it's fragile, it will break and your whole business will fall apart. Only a senior software engineer that deals with that would know that, right? So they would know how to fix it. So it immediately says when someone's searching for you, like we just showed, or if they're going through your LinkedIn profile, it immediately shows, I need that person. I hope that makes sense. Is that making sense? I always hate this type of thing because I can't ever get feedback. Okay, so what else we were going to do? We're going to do the Google Sheet. And I'm going to stick the Google Sheet inside of the chat. It's also in the description. And I want you all to think about something. All right, for the Google Sheet. We're going to do a really quick break now. Not now, in a couple seconds. Don't leave me yet. So we're going to talk about the foundation and strategy. Again, I want you to focus on the first 1 to 3 months. I want you to focus on answering these questions during the break. What specific outcome do you want from your LinkedIn? Do you want leads? Do you want jobs? Or do you want a partnership? Because that is going to be different the way that you approach that. If you are trying to get leads for your business, that's going to look completely different than if you're trying to get a job from somebody, okay? If you're trying to get a job from someone, you're going to write posts that show that you know how to do within a company. Why do you benefit a company? How do you save a company money? How do you save them time? That's the thing you're going to focus on. If you're focusing on leads for your company, you're trying to show your potential customer why working with you would be beneficial to them. Okay, so you see how those marketing messages are going to be different. So you need to be very clear. I need you to answer these questions before we go to ChatGPT. Or you could take this and go to ChatGPT to just lay the foundation as to what you want to get, which is going to end up being your headline, all that other stuff. If you can, I know you see a whole bunch of stuff on the page, but if you could just focus on the foundation and strategy with me first, and then we'll go to the rest later. Who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal connection? What is their industry? What is their location? What is the size of their company, and what are their pain points? Because when it comes to creating a profile that is optimized for who you want to attract, you got to know who you're trying to attract. If you don't put it out there, you're just going to attract all types of foolishness, okay? All right, what unique value proposition in one sentence? If you can share your unique value proposition in the chat with all of us who are in here, that would be great. And then we can kind of converse back and forth, and I can let you know. So what is your unique value proposition? That basically means why should someone work with you versus your competitor? What makes you stand out? Okay, so think about that. But before, I want to go over some important things to consider and remember from what we just talked about. And that is going to be, I'm so slow. All right, so if you want to be found by a global audience, make sure to create content in the local language and the corresponding time zone. So really quickly, for me, I'm in the EU. Most of my clients, even now, are still in the East Coast, a little bit in the West Coast. So I tend to post, which you'll see a little bit later, I post around 11:30 a.m. my local European time. And usually what that does, it gets the East Coast early enough that when they just wake up and start checking social media, they'll get the information. And the folks here in Europe, they're usually going to lunch. And so if they're on their phone, kind of checking. So that's been my sweet spot in regards to time for posting and getting that optimized. Now, again, first 3 months, that did not matter. Didn't matter at all because no one knew I existed in the first place. Okay. So if you were just starting out or you have a LinkedIn page that you haven't really been connected to your ideal client, please don't stress out over the stuff that doesn't matter right yet. You need to get this algorithm warmed up from really like 3 to 4 months. Okay. So just get it warmed up and just do what you have to do there. All right. And so let's go back to what we were talking about. Okay. So that's in regards to time and your local language. So for me, I'm kind of prioritizing the UK more so because their currency is worth more than euros and USD and Australia, most of the people's currency. So that is kind of where I spend a good amount of my time prospecting. What else? Your profile should sell your value, not just a list of your experience, especially in this market. It's entirely too competitive for you just say to list a resume on your LinkedIn profile. Please show how you can solve problems, and you can do that in the form of posts, which I'll show you in a bit, in addition to articles, right? Because this is what the algorithm eats. It's what it feeds on. And so it doesn't know that you exist out here in cyberspace if you just have random things or random quotes or random pictures on your LinkedIn profile, okay? All right, and next, your connections matter. Okay, your connections matter. If you are only connected to people who already know you, not your prospects, it's going to be harder to get your ideal client through your first, second, and third connections. And again, just showed you when you're doing a search, you can only kind of search between your first, second, and third connections, right? And on certain locations, it won't give you just like a massive Google search. That's not how LinkedIn works. So you want to make sure that you're connected to industries so that if you're getting second or third connections from those people, it can actually turn into something. But if you're just connected with people that you grew up with, or you're just connected with people you went to school with or you used to work with, they are not your clients. They're not your potential clients. So the goal is to make sure that you can get connected with other people, but you want to increase your ability for them to connect with you because you've shown, do you have content that matters? Okay. All right. So we spent that first 20 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. And again, What I would love for you to do is come to the worksheet, or you can look here on a thing and answer these specific questions. When you answer these specific questions, we're going to use the answers that you provide here for other aspects of the training. But if you don't know who you want to talk to, everything else is going to be irrelevant, right? So during the break, if you can be so kind as to answer these questions, make sure you put your LinkedIn links. Did everybody do that? Y'all not sharing y'all LinkedIn links. What's going on? Am I not seeing it? Am I on the wrong monitor? Share your LinkedIn links so that people can network and follow and all of that great stuff. And so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. When we come back, I'm going to do some Q&A. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And I'll start with the questions before we go through the rest. Okay? Fair? All right. See you in a bit. Okay, y'all, let's get into some questions really quickly before we go on. Now, what is that? SEB said, where we put in the answers to the Google Sheet questions. So for anyone who is just now joining us, let me put the link again. The link is in the description for the Google Doc. I'm putting it in there again. So you can just you can either type notes, a text box is usually what I use, your Apple Notes, whatever you want to use, but we keep it handy because we're going to take that same information and we're going to throw it into ChatGPT. So if you have a ChatGPT account, make sure to log into that. You can totally use the free account. You don't have to pay for it. So that is that. And let's see. Crypto Fan had a really good question. So Crypto Fan wants to know, how does one reinvent their profile from job oriented to lead generation for their business? This is a really, really good question. And this is the case for a lot of people. So you have a couple options that you can do, Crypto Fan. So what you can do is whatever the name of your business is, you can put that as work experience at the bottom of your LinkedIn page. You can decide if you want to say that you're the founder or the CEO. I don't usually like doing that, but you can do it. But when the CEO is the same person who's doing the lead generation to go to other businesses, you tend to look small because most CEOs don't have time to do that. So if you are trying to work with large corporations and you're saying you're the CEO and you're also doing the lead gen, it kind of shows that you might be a one-person shop. So take your name of the business, even if you haven't incorporated yet, if you're just doing freelance, whatever, just take the name of the business and put, you can say that you're, account executive or whomever it is that a title that would make sense for doing the lead generation. Now, what you also said, I asked about your target market. And what'd you say? I got me on the wrong page. Let me go back to the page where you can read the comments. Okay. All right. And if anyone else has any questions before we start, just go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll answer that. Okay. So your ideal client are business owners who need leads for their business. You're starting with bookkeepers. So here's the thing. I'm going to say this, but not to discourage you of what you're currently doing. When you are working with other solo entrepreneurs or smaller businesses, you're going to need a lot of volume and a lot of conversion for it to make financial sense. And sometimes it ends up being a lot of work administrative wise and everything else in the back end. And if you have to do lead generation, there are larger companies that would love to have someone who can do lead generation, especially right now. Every company is hiring lead generation and salespeople, every last one of them, right? So what I would recommend is start to create content. If you want to focus on bookkeepers, you want to create content around how bookkeepers can get leads. You need to show that you understand their problem. That way, which I'll talk about a little later, once you create the content from 1 to 2 months, really 1 month if you're trying to go with the bookkeeper. When you reach out to them, you're giving them a post that you wrote maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that makes sense to them, right? So if the bookkeepers are divided by certain industries, like let's say it's a bookkeeper that works specifically with restaurants, or a bookkeeper that works specifically with what's other cash, I don't know the appropriate word, marijuana. I was going to call it weed. Marijuana distribution centers, or that they deal a lot in cash and they typically need a bookkeeper. They typically need an accountant. So if you are marketing specifically to bookkeepers in a particular industry, or you just want to market generally to bookkeepers, you have to create content that makes sense to someone that you know what you're talking about. You know how to help get them the leads. In this day and age right now, people are busy. And even if someone sends me something, I don't have time to respond. And so when someone, which you'll see later on, reach out and try to have a discovery call with me, I want to immediately know why I need to get on the phone with you. Like, you just saying you want to get a meeting and I don't even know what you could do, I'm not going to respond. So you want people to get an idea of who you are and what you do by the content you produce so that they can measure and they can decide, oh, I do want to meet with this person. But they can't do that if they don't know anything about you. And a website won't cut it because it's not specifically showing me how you can do what I need you to do. That is going to make sense a little bit later because I'm going to show you how I strategically did that with attorneys and nonprofits and all that other stuff. So I hope that makes sense. Thanks for tuning. You are so welcome, Healthy Living. LinkedIn about connected with you. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, thank you, Crypto Fan. I'm interested in tips on how to make money on profile. Okay, let's go back to the questions really quickly, and I can't find the last one I was on to do that. Okay, hey there, Erica. Let's see what you got here. Thank you so much. Sure, like Crypto Fan, I'm interested in tips on how to move my profile from listing my job experience to launching my wine catering business. Wine catering. Help me. So tell me, who's the ideal client for that? Is this corporate? Is this individuals? Who is it who would be hiring you? And what would that experience look like? When does someone need a wine catering business? Does that mean they already have the food and they just need someone to do the wine? Make all that clear. Start posting content that will answer those questions. And if you have time, answer that for me. Who would be your ideal client? Guys, during the break, I told you all to put who your ideal clients were. And I did not play that cute little music and stuff so that you cannot tell me who your ideal client is. That is going to dictate anything you're going to do with your marketing because it helps you find out where they're located, right? Or where they are online if you can identify who they are. Even if you don't know, if you're struggling trying to figure out, gosh, who is my ideal client? Talk it over with ChatGPT. Like, seriously, everything, that man, thing, girl, whatever it is, AI knows a lot of things. It read the whole internet. So if you need to have a conversation back and forth with an LLM, by all means, do it. I do it all the time. So if you're struggling with trying to figure out who your ideal client is, should we put into the chat before we give you the answer? Okay. Should we put this into ChatGPT before we give you the answer? You can, but I'm going to give you the other prompt, and the prompt's on the worksheet so you could see that, but I want to walk you through it before you do it. However you want to work it on that. Also, I think YouTube may be blocking your ability to put links in chat. Is it really? Hold on. YouTube being doing the things. So are you not able to see my link when I put the links in there? Oh, are people not able? Huh. Okay. Let me think about how to fix that. You're saying nobody else can put links in there, even if you're subscribed? Okay. Let me think about that. Thanks for letting me know, Erica. I appreciate that. Okay, yes, it removed your link. Okay, Khadijah, removed your link. That's not good. During the break, let me think about that and see if there's any settings or something. And if anybody knows that there's settings in here that does that, let me know because I have no clue. Okay, Crypto Fan. Okay, thanks. That makes sense. Okay, perfect. What do you do if your selling is not an actual target? Okay, so let's see Paulette. But you can't see anybody else's links, Paulette? Okay, what if you're selling to is not the actual target? Example, targeting decision makers, directors, HR, but the clients are the early educators they employ and the students they teach. Hold on, let me think about that question. What if you are selling to the actual target? Example, target. Okay, I feel like I know what you're saying. Okay, so I get it. That's a great question. So for me, so I do AI video generation as well. And so the people who would need that are usually learning and development in HR firms. So what I have been doing is sending the videos I've done for other people. I have been sending that to HR or learning and development folks in regards to their training. So a lot of companies, especially in DC, would do something called industrials, which they would hire a staff and a production company and the whole nine, and they paid really well. to do training, and anything that had to do with compliance, they always needed training often. And it's super expensive to hire a production company and do all those things. So I've started incorporating AI video generation. Actually, my contracts in the UK started with that. And then I wanted to start selling it to some US companies. So it's the L&D and the HR team that buys, or who would buy it, who I have to target. But it's the overall company employees is who benefits it. So the employees wouldn't care. The companies are required that they do the training. But I have to give it to the HR directors, right? So I'm showing them an example. So what if if you have something visually that would help early educators in a video or something, and help them or demonstrate how that would be helpful, you can send that to the directors and the HR. So you want to market it to them, but you don't want to do a blanket introduction like, hi, I do this. Show them what it looks like. Like if that's a lesson plan, if that's, a video, a teaching thing, give them what they need. And then they are the ones who do the hiring. And then the other folks will end up benefiting from that. That's how I do it. So I hope that's helpful. Who am I? Okay, crypto fan. We see your links. Everybody saying you see my links. Do you see other people's links? We can see your links. Okay. I don't know why nobody. Okay, Cinnamon, I would love to understand how I attract freelance writing opportunities. My profile is currently set up to announce my fictional works. Who is your market, love? Talk to me about that. And again, I'm going to push for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is better for B2B. Like you want to sell to businesses. If you want to sell to your fiction, a corporation probably may not buy your fiction work, but individuals may. So that is probably going to be a different tool. But if you want to sell your skills specifically to businesses, LinkedIn is going to be your perfect place. So if you want to track freelance writing in the fiction space, I'm gonna be honest with you, LinkedIn may not be the best platform. I just like maybe a TikTok or definitely a YouTube would be more beneficial for you. Maybe not as much LinkedIn. So your profile, if you're doing different type of writing, like you're doing technical writing or something for a business, that could work. But I'm gonna be honest, with AI, this has happened in my industry as well, so no shade. AI is destroying a lot of writing jobs, a lot of marketing jobs, a lot of transcription jobs, a lot of those type of things, which is what forced me to have to go learn coding and all that other stuff, right? So you do want to consider that. But I will say, if you focus on providing a service for a corporation, you don't need that many corporate clients for it to work. When you are selling to smaller solo entrepreneurs, you need a lot of volume to cover that. So tell me what you're selling to the businesses, and I can kind of help you walk through that. Ideal clients are local corporate. Okay. Ideal clients are local corporate and private events. I also provide wine consulting. That would be clients online. I forgot what the first part of the question was. I feel like we were talking about where you gonna put on LinkedIn. So if some of your, I wish I could see some of your LinkedIn posts, because I would be curious to see what your LinkedIn profile looks like now. My question is, are you educating people about various forms of wine on your LinkedIn page right now? If you're not, you need to do that. You need to talk about seasons. You might want to talk about local wines. You want to talk about, because if you want corporations to hire you, you need to find out who the hiring managers are for the corporations. I think it may be the event planners. That might be your market, because even for corporate events, the CEO is not the one who does that. So you probably want to focus on the event planners inside the corporations. Now, a lot of people have gotten laid off, and event planners and marketing people kind of been the first ones to do that. So you kind of want to figure out if their position still exists. So what I would recommend is think about, like, in a perfect world, who would be the 3 companies? I don't know where you're located, Erica, but who would be the 3 corporations you would love to work with? And when you do that, you want to figure out who are the pieces and the people in that corporation that you would need to talk to based on what you're trying to do. And what that ends up doing, it allows you to figure out the research necessary to do this with other corporations. And then that way, because it's like, these 3 or 4 people, you can be super, super detailed in you reaching out. Every time you reach out to someone, especially right now, you have to lead with why you're going to be a benefit to that business. And with everything going on in the world, you do have to understand that there's going to be some discretionary income issues. People may not want to pay whatever. Do you have access to exclusive wines, or do you have this or that? Like, what would be the value? And make sure that you lead with that. So that people can be instantly, because right now everybody's in everybody's inbox kind of wanting something. So when you lead with some value up front, it's very helpful. But you want to know who are the people who would be hiring for someone like you. I feel like it's the event planners inside the corporation. I feel like that's usually who sets up all of the events. And if there's a particular CEO, like if you're on their page and you can see that they speak about a particular wine, you can do introductions that way. Maybe give them history of the wine, where it comes from, all that type of thing. So I hope that is helpful. Let's go back. How do I demonstrate? You guys got great questions this morning. All of this good old brain thinking y'all got going on a Sunday, I am impressed. How do I demonstrate what I can do if my business is spiritual in nature? My customers are spiritually inclined business women, specifically CEOs. I don't know what that means, love. So to demonstrate, how do I demonstrate what I can do if my business is spiritual? You have to be very clear as to what that means, because I just read that and I don't know what that means. What do I get for working with you? What do you do for me? Like, I love the Lord, I love Jesus. What is, you got to be a little bit more clear about your offer, because I don't all the way know what that means. So talk to me a little bit more, and I can try to help you through that. My government logistics. Ooh, let's talk about that. My government logistics in the European or international English speaking markets. Damn it, I forgot what the first part of this question was. My government logistics in the European or international speaking markets. You were talking about writing, right? See how my trains crashed that quick? I don't even know what we were talking about. Okay, so you're talking about, you write about your government logistical in the EU, European, and international English speaking markets. You write about your government logistical. Oh, honey, I need more information. I'm so sorry, because I don't know if I get it. So when you say you write about it, I'm sorry. It's not because it's Sunday. I don't all the way get it. Which AI do you use to translate? Okay, let's see. Which AI do you use to translate your content to local languages? You can use any of them, honestly. You can use GTP, you can use Claude. If you were doing transcriptions, you can use Assembly AI. You can use DeepSeek. You can literally use any of them. I do feel like most of them, at least as it relates to Portuguese, if they have 2 ways to speak the language like Portugal does, I find that Claude skews more to Brazilian Portuguese, whereas OpenAI does acknowledge European Portuguese, which most of them don't. Okay. You guys, your questions are awesome. Please keep them coming. I don't want to hold you guys too long. I want to get into the rest of the lesson. So glad it was helpful, Erica. Appreciate that. So, okay, we got one more question from Crypto Guy. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, based on what you said earlier, I think I will shift my focus. I'm going to concentrate on finding businesses who need funding for buying equipment. Listen, Crypto, that's really good. If you can actually help people like do that and get the application process and find the funding, sir, you could really get that, because that's what people need right now. So yes, that sounds beautiful. So your content, what'd you say? This is an area I have been trying to develop. Okay, cool. So your content is going to revolve around that, right? Like, you're going to help businesses figure out how do they get this funding. So you have to be the expert in that. And so many people are looking for funding and lines of credit right now. So if you got the plug, you could easily get the customers. So just create content that's around that. Okay. All right. So you guys are awesome. Like, okay, I don't even know where I am in my presentation. Y'all gave me the goodness. Okay, so what are we talking about now? Do. Okay, so for those of you who are joining me, there is a link in the description. I feel like I put my link and y'all see it, but y'all don't see y'all links. They won't let you put your links. And if someone knows how to fix that, tell a sister so I can fix it. Okay, so we're back onto the worksheet, but what are we talking about? We are talking about your profile optimization. So again, so you have your foundation and your strategy. You're talking about who, why you're on LinkedIn, your ideal customer, your unique value proposition. Hold on to that for a second. Okay. We're going to come back to that. Now, your profile picture. So your profile picture, this is your professional standard international appeal. So if you want a global audience, please don't try to be creative with your profile picture. Like just other countries, specifically Europe's and UK, is a little bit more conservative. So just throw a background, solid background there, and dress like you want a job. So you want to make sure your lighting is good, your expression, got a little smile, all that other stuff, especially if you are trying to attract a global audience. Bright color in the background. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, you see that I have a green color in the background. That is because it's to make my profile picture pop out a bit. Okay. So I also, like on my Upwork page on Upwork page, if you can take a selfie behind like a building, I have all the AI softwares, like all of them. So if you need me to create you like a little profile picture, this is mine. And it like I can change your hair. We could do all those types of things. And it's cheap. It's like $7. It's super easy. It'll take like a second, and I can get you a profile picture. But if you can put a solid like a green, a yellow, a purple, to make you pop out a little bit, that helps. Now, far as the banner, you don't need a banner right now. Look at me. You don't need a banner right now. You do not need a banner right now. If you were just starting off, nobody has ever said to me, I don't want to work with you because you don't have a banner on your LinkedIn page. But this is what tends to happen. People get so caught up because doing the graphic stuff feels like work, but you want to spend most of your time actually reaching people and creating content that would actually convert versus spending time on a banner. When you in month 4, 5, 6, like I'm gonna focus on it. I'm gonna probably do one maybe like next month or something, but it will not stop you from getting sales, not having a banner. If you care, LinkedIn also, this is the link right here. Where's my mouse? You can't even see my mouse on my screen. That's weird. The mouse, here's a Canva right here. Canva has a whole bunch of templates. If you just feel like you need to have a banner in your life, if you just go here and type in LinkedIn banners, this will already be the size that you would need your LinkedIn banner to be. I would recommend you put your information, your website, and that type of thing, and also put why someone should contact you. But again, the banner is not really something people see when they're on their mobile device. So please, please, please don't get caught up thinking about it. If you want it and you're in like month 4 of this optimization, fine. You can get it going. Okay, so your headline and your prompts for the headline. So this is a part I really want you to spend some time on because it's super important. Your headline is what people see when they're on the mobile device, when you send them a connection request, when they jump on your profile to read what you do. That's the main thing people see. So I need you to spend some time and focus, particularly in this area, right? And understand this, whatever you create today, you can edit it, right? Like it doesn't have to stay there forever. You can edit it tomorrow if you want to, but please put it up there. Like please do it and you know, do it. Okay. So banner, let me say not necessary to start. Okay. So just making sure I did that. All right. So here's your thing. So the headline wait, did I show you everything? Okay, I meant to show you the Upwork gig. So if you're on Upwork and you need your profile picture, go here. There is a link in the Google description and I can throw one there. So again, this is what that looks like. I realized I didn't show that. What else did I not show? Okay, so we're back. All right, so your headline. Your headline is going to go beyond your title. Do not make your stuff just the title of what you do. Do your role, what value you add. I need this bigger. Can you guys see my screen okay? Okay. Is that better? Okay, that's much better. So you're going to do your role, the value, and your target audience. So remember up here, we talked about your target audience. If you didn't identify who your target audience is, the industry, the company, when you give this to ChatGPT, it's going to give you a generic answer. So you want to give it as much information as you possibly can. So your industry, your location, your target audience, why you are unique, and your leads and job and all this stuff. Then you're going to come and say, you're able to answer this a lot better. Keywords for searchability. You want to figure out what keywords do you want to be associated with. Because when you're writing your post and you're writing your headline and you're writing your about section, they need to show up in those places. If it's inconsistent all over the place, it's going to be really hard for the algorithm to find you, okay? So think about, if someone's searching for someone like me, what keywords are they using? Every single algorithm that exists on all of these social medias all wrap their brains around keywords, right? So think about what keywords would be associated with you for someone who's looking for you. And then examples of high performing profiles. I had one that I wanted to show you. Did I not have it ready? I probably didn't have it queued up. Give me a second. Okay, here are some compelling headlines. And let's go through these just in case you're thinking like, okay, so what should a headline look like? So this is a marketing manager at Tech Corp, which we showed earlier. Senior software engineer at ABC company. These are all they're kind of bad. Sales director, 10 years experience. It's not telling me nothing. HR business partner with global industries. That bored me to death. Okay, so now here's a powerful alternative. Here are some examples for various options. So we have the marketing professional, helping B2B SaaS companies struggling with low conversion rates to generate 40% more qualified leads through data-driven content. If you're a software engineer, we went through some of these. Build scalable platforms from fintech startup drowning in technical debt that handle 10 million in transactions without breaking. Guiding manufacturing executives. This is a specific market. Manufacturing executives tired of missed quotas to close 25% more deals through consultative selling frameworks. This manufacturing executives, when they miss their quota, they don't get businesses and they get in trouble. So if somebody is missing their quota and you can do that as a sales professional, they want you. And if that's in your headline, they want you immediately. But if you're just saying that you were I forgot which business division that was, senior software, then they're not going to know what you do. Okay, who else? Consultant, transforming overwhelmed restaurant owners struggling with rising cost into profitable operations with 15% higher margins through efficiency audits. Listen, that right there, if you're a restaurant owner and obviously costs have increased, and obviously the margins in restaurants is already low. So if you see that and you're struggling with that, whether you have the money or not, you can solve my problem and I want to talk to you. If that is in your headline, do you see how that's much more clearer than saying that you're a consultant for restaurant owners? Okay, financial advisor. Empowering busy professionals worried about retirement to save an extra $100,000 through personalized investment strategies that actually understand. Now, in that headline, they identified the audience all up and through there. It's busy professionals. Busy professionals probably make a certain amount of money, right? So you have people that can afford you. Okay, I got balloons happening. You have people that can afford you. And what are they concentrating on? Retirement, which means they have to take larger sums of money because they want to focus on retirement. So do you see how you want to make sure that you put your target audience in your headline so it's very clear to the people that you are the person who can solve their problem? That is the type of headline that we want to create. Now, if you don't know how to create that type of headline by yourself, that is fine. That is what we have AI for. But again, you got to give AI some information so that it can give you something that's going to be helpful. Okay, so here's the prompt. Okay, so help me create a compelling LinkedIn headline. Here's my information. Your current job title, the industry, the answers to the questions that we had earlier today, the main problem they face, how I help them solve it, specific results I deliver, and put quantifiable outcomes. Fill this out. Put this stuff in these brackets of where you have it and just copy this, guys. Just copy it from the link I gave you. Copy that, Command C, head on over to ChatGPT. You going, oops, wrong thing. Let's try that again. Okay, Command C. All right, let's come over here to ChatGPT. All right, and so here, your current position. So you can say my current title is, I'm gonna do crypto fan, lead generation specialist. Y'all, I can't spell in real life. Is specialist. Is that right? Okay, yeah. The industry, what did you say, crypto fan, that your industry was for people who needed machine loans? So they're probably in, I never can think on my feet. What is the industry when they need machine loans? Because I don't know. Let me just put industrial, I don't know, something. Anyway, fill this out because your brain probably works better than mine. So just go ahead and fill this out. And then let's see. Okay, based on the information created in 3 through 5 different LinkedIn heading options that follow the format, you want to action word, who you help facing the problem, achieve what outcome, and all that good stuff. And just this is just for your headline. Focus on the headline first. Don't do it now. Are we going to go to break? Yeah, we'll go to break in a bit. How are we doing on time? Are we good? Is time? Are we doing okay? Oh, we're doing good. Okay, so this is for your headline. This is the prompt for your headline. And this is going to be the prompt for your about section. Okay, so for your about section, I want you to write a compelling LinkedIn about section for me in a conversational tone, professional tone. So you want to speak like you're talking to a friend. You still want to be professional, but you don't want to bore the hell out of your audience, okay? So putting conversation tone is important. Here are the details. The headline that you got from the first step. Take that headline, okay? And you're going to paste that here. The outcome I want from my LinkedIn. That was in the first questions we did, right? What is the outcome you said you wanted? Do you want to get more leads? Do you want to get partnerships? Are you trying to get funding? What is it? What is the outcome you want for LinkedIn? My ideal client. That was the question at the top. Who is your ideal client? Put that here. My unique value proposition. Why should someone work with you versus someone else? And then please open with a strong, engaging first line that makes people want to continue reading it. Write in a conversational, approachable style, not stiff or corporate. That's important. Please don't bore the hell out of these people. Highlight the problem my ideal client faces and how to solve them. Use my unique value proposition as a core part of the section. End with a friendly call to action. Connect with me, message me, whatever. The goal is to make me look credible, approachable, and global. Well, global, that was just for me. You don't have to be global if you don't want to, while showing that you help your clients. Okay, so we're going to do another break, right? How does everybody feel? Does anybody have questions before we move on? Type me questions before we move on. Let me see. Okay, so let me just recap what you're doing, right? You have the prompts here, and let me put the link inside. Again, okay. Yeah, that is the link. Okay, you're going to come down here. We are over here in the LinkedIn headline section. Okay, the information that you got from before, you are going to bring it down here to your headline. You are going to copy this prompt. Fill in what matters to you so that it's relevant to what you specifically do. Command C, head on over here to ChatGPT, put the information here, fill it out correctly. And then this is going to help you get your headline, right? Because your headline, that is what we're using. Where am I? Your headline is what we're putting here, right here. I have AI automation strategist serving professional services and SaaS across US, UK, EU. Fixing the workflow first, automating second, helping companies avoid automating broken processes. That is what my headline is for what I do. So I want you to create this headline for you. Do you see how it identifies who I'm serving, professional services and SaaS companies? and you see who, because I really want UK clients, and of course US and the EU. And then it says, what am I doing for them? So that is what I want you to do first, right? So we're going to do your headline. Once you get your headline, you're going to scroll down here to the about section. This is the about section. Where is my about section? Where is my about section? Am I on the right? So my about section is here. Not only do I have an about section, I also put some bold in there because I want it to stand out, right? So I'm passionate about transforming businesses, operations, professional services, UK, EU. But do you see how AI automation strategist is here? It's in my heading and it's here, right? Because again, you want to make sure you show up and search for specific things. So you got to put those in the necessary places. I do end-to-end automation solutions. I leverage AI video generation to create compelling content for internal training, social media compliance, all that stuff, right? You see how that's going all and about? That is what I need you to create for you, my loves. So again, about section, all that great answers that you had at the top, go ahead, put that here. And then you're going to come back to ChatGPT after you get your answer for whatever you feel here. And then you put that prompt in and you get that. So you have that. Okay. And what I would love for you to do, if you love it and you read it and you want more of it, go ahead and put it on your LinkedIn page during the break. How long is this break? This break is a 20-minute break. So get some snacks, do what you got to do. Do this part, please. And if you bonus points for people who go ahead and put it on their LinkedIn now if they like the output. And if you want to share the output and what was going on, let me know that too. If you have any questions, we are, like last time, we're going to do a Q&A when we come back. So if you got stuck anywhere, we're going to work through it. We'll go through that, and then we will talk about actually writing the content. But right now, we got to make sure that your foundation is right, your profile, your picture, everything looks good, right? Then we're going to talk about actually creating the content for your audience. So, do we feel good? Are we in a good place? Can I get some? Can I know what's happening in the people? Because y'all quiet on me. We good? Okay, so we're gonna do a break. I will see you when we get back. Okay, how we feeling? Are we good? Are we good? Let me know if this is helpful. Give me some likes. Like, let me know what's happening, how you feeling. Okay, we got a couple questions that came in, and if you happen to have a question, just let me know. Go ahead and throw it into the chat. Bangatti, check if there is a stream option. Links flag as spam. That might be preventing links from chat users. Do I know where to go and do that? I should have tested more. Thank you. I appreciate that information. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Did I mean to do that? Did I hit the wrong thing? Okay, sorry. Add to broadcast. Let me see. You're back? Okay, I was making sure I didn't ban it. Look, I'm all over the place. What am I doing? Okay. Tanya. Okay, so Tanya, let me make this. Can I do this so that I can see the whole thing? Nope. All right, it won't let me. That's what we're doing. There we go. Oh, I did that wrong. Now I done messed it up. What did I do? Okay, so Tanya is asking, but I can't get the software to act correctly. Tanya's asking, good morning. How can I leverage my English language course to companies globally? For example, conversations in English. Tanya, can you tell me what is their native language? Tell me what their native language is, and then we can kind of work that out. Because obviously it helps to state that so that people can identify themselves. If you're saying you help native French speakers speak English, it's helpful, one, to write content in French. Secondly, to someone who French is their native language, they already know that they should work with you. So it helps for you to say what their native language is and what they're transitioning to. And that would be super helpful. And if you can tell me that, I hope I didn't mess up all my comments. Okay, good. Driven Spice, I love the LinkedIn profile prompt. Yay! I'm so glad you liked it. You want to share what it said? I would love to hear your titles and things. Okay, so we don't have too many comments, questions, so we're going to move forward. If you have any questions later, let me know. Put them in the chat. I'll be happy to ask them. We are doing great on time, guys. Okay, so what are we doing? We are talking about LinkedIn's process. Okay, perfect. So you answered my question. Let me go back really quickly to what you said. Okay, so Tanya is teaching. How does Tanya's comment look like that? What is going on here? Okay. Tanya said she's helping Spanish speakers here. Oh, in Mexico. Okay. So when you say you want corporations, what are the corporations? Can you identify, let's say, 5 corporations in that area? And what you could do, the person who would probably hire someone, they may have learning and development in Mexico. You want to find the title of the person who would hire something like that. For anything that you're doing, that you're dealing with corporations, folks, find the corporate hirer title. Is that right? Yeah. So in this case, if someone specifically wants their staff to learn English, it may be learning and development if learning and development exists. If not, it might be HR. So what you could do is you can position yourself to kind of, one, if you're using LinkedIn to create content, you should have content of you teaching Spanish speakers how to communicate in English. It doesn't have to be with a person. You can do a short lesson. But when you reach out to someone, they should be able to go to your profile and without having to talk to you and see, and you demonstrate what it would look like or what it would feel like working with you. Guys, that's a reason why YouTube does so well for conversion, because it's video, right? So people get to see who they're dealing with, their personality, all of those things, and they see the real person, which is why video converts the way that it does. You do not need to do video. I didn't do video on LinkedIn, but you can at least have some lessons, or if there's some specific struggles that you know that native Spanish speakers struggle with in English, that would be helpful to pull those things out. I work with a woman here who helps bank employees in Angola speak English. And so I've been working with them, And it's so ironic. The same things that we struggle with as native English speakers and speaking Portuguese are the same thing they struggle with in English. And because she teaches it, she knows what it is. So because you teach it, you should know what that is. And you will start to put that information on your, if LinkedIn is what you're using, you want to go after HR if that is the department that hires it. And so start networking with HR people in your local area. I hope that makes sense. If you have any more questions with that, let me know and we can dig deeper in that because we're actually doing phenomenal on time. Okay. Company struggling to translate complexity. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. Profile suggests helping internationals facing companies struggling to translate complexity into clarity. Why can't I read today? Create impact content and RFP responses through strategic writing. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go back. What on earth were we doing? I have no idea. See what happens when it's live? I don't know what happened. My trains just crashed. Where are we? Okay, yes. So we're talking about the antiviral system of LinkedIn. So remember before try it again. Before I was telling you how when you think about LinkedIn, I recommend that you kind of do it in phases. Your 1 to 3 months is when you're building your foundation, right? You are going to start writing your content that matches what your ideal a customer is interested in. You're going to find your ideal clients. You're going to make sure your profile and your heading and your about looks wonderful and get the algorithm to know what you are. 3 to 4, you're going to start to interact and pitch because by that time, by month 3, you have a plethora of content that someone can binge watch if they want to binge read, or if you got videos, binge watch if they want to. So they can find out so much about you because by this time, if you did it correctly, you have a lot of content within 3 months. And so they can learn every aspect about your business and how you solve problems. So when you do pitch to them, you can pick, which I'll show you in a second, the most relevant post to them. You're not asking them for anything. You were just pitching. So let's talk about LinkedIn's algorithm a little bit, just so you understand, so you don't get frustrated. So LinkedIn is not based on virality. What it is, it's based on who you're connected to, you being an authority in the space. So fun fact, you can't be an authority in any space if you don't write anything about the space. What? That's crazy, right? So that's why content is so important. It's specifically important on LinkedIn because they're basing, okay, who is this person connected to? What do they talk about? What information ends up kind of being the same thing? For me, I'm talking about automation all the time. I'm going to make it relate to automation all the time because that's who I'm trying to track, people who want things automated. So you want to make sure that when you're building that content that it's doing that, okay? So let's go back to that. And so with it, your post matters. LinkedIn is going to test your posts with a small percentage of people in your network. What is that on my mic? I get so distracted. They're going to test it with people in your network. And if it doesn't go anywhere, then they're pretty much just going to let the post die. Now, that doesn't matter. Because if it dies, it doesn't mean that the post dies. If you taking this content, you're going to send it to someone in which is relevant. So don't worry about if no one engages with it. It does not matter. Anytime I have been doing a particular job or I wanted to go after a particular job, I am giving them links to my various LinkedIn posts to show them, oh, I've done this and this is what happened. I've done this and this is what happened. That is what ends up closing the deals. And sometimes those people didn't find me on LinkedIn. I may have found them on a different platform and then they end up coming to LinkedIn and going to my profile. So you want to make sure that your house is pretty when guests come over. Okay. And that's why the foundation in the first 1 to 3 months is so important to build that, because if someone come to your house and it's quiet and ain't nobody there and you don't have no refreshments, you don't have no food, you don't have anything, why they staying? Like, you got to be a good host, right? So think about that as it relates to what it is. But that's also, you need to know that, so that when you post and no one interacts with it, and your post is going into the oblivion, and you're like, nobody's listening to me, because on these other social media, you get the engagement, so you get the dopamine, and so you feel like you're doing a great job. And LinkedIn can feel like it's going into the void. All right, and I'm just saying this so that you know that this is how the statistics are there. So don't trip off of that, because that's not your problem. Because then what you'll find out, because they don't, like, stuff doesn't necessarily die. So I'll have people contact me from a post I did 5 months ago. But if I never did the post, they would have never saw it, right? Does everyone understand why content's so important right now? Okay, so that is that. What is this? I don't even know what this slide is about. Why is this not? Okay, let's talk about the content pillars. So you may be wondering, okay, Sin, you keep talking about I need to create content. What am I creating content about? So the content pillars, you can do educational insights and tips. For behind the scenes, you can do your client stories, and you can do industry commentary. So for educational insights and tips for Tanya, this is exactly for you. This is where you can start to put your educational information that you've known working with students. What are some things that kind of mess them up, right? For Crypto Fan, did I say her whole name? Crypto Fan. For those, if you were trying to get people funded who need to buy machinery and all stuff, what are the biggest mistakes they make on their loan application that ends up getting them rejected? Okay. So like, think about what your ideal client, what they struggle with, what they need to know, so that you can kind of create that content. So we have educational tips and insights. Are there any behind the scenes? What do the behind the scenes look like? What are you doing behind the scenes? I can show you a behind the scenes of what it takes to pull all this together if you care. Let me know and I'll do a video on that. It's a whole bunch of moving parts and stuff going on. That's why I always come up here like, what am I doing? So yeah, show the behind the scenes in your business, what that looks like, maybe vendors that you're working with. So that can also be content. What else we have for content pillar? For client success stories, that is so important. People want to know if they work with you, they're going to be successful. So if you can show off any of your great clients, that would be wonderful. If you can do case studies of what you've done for them, I am going to show you on my page how I do that. An industry commentary, that can just be some things that are happening to your industry. Excuse me, let's say some news came out and then you're in the industry and you want to be able to discuss that and talk about that. And so that could be super, super, super helpful. Okay, content on LinkedIn or in your website. Okay, content. So I'm talking about on LinkedIn specifically. That's a good question. Let me bring your question up if I can find out where I'm supposed to be. So this content is going to go on your LinkedIn, because right now we're talking about LinkedIn. We are not talking about your website. And LinkedIn actually will probably give you more impressions than people coming on your website. The great thing about it is that the people can search for it, which we showed how you search for it at the beginning of this. And that's going to help people find you. But you're going to put the content on your LinkedIn page. You can do this as an article, or you can do this as a post. I tend to do it as a post because the posts tend to kind of go well. And if I'm sending information to a client, it's so much easier for me to send them like a quick post than having them read a big old article that I wrote. Like, I know they don't have time for that. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see what's next. All right, so I'm going to give you some examples to show you what that looks like. Post. Let's see. Okay, so where are we? We did that. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Nope. That's not what I want. What do I want? I want to show you the post examples. So this is an example of, who is this for? I got to bring this down some. Okay. So this post end up being for people in my same industry, which is why so many people in my industry like this. So this is for automation, and this is where small businesses tend to have some mistakes. Right. And so I created that. The number one mistake trying to automate chaos doesn't create order. It creates automated chaos. So what I found with working with a lot of companies is that they feel like they want automation, but the issue is they don't have any processes. So because they don't have processes, that is where their issue is. You don't want to automate something and you don't even have a process. So if there's, again, no documentation, let me make this bigger. Why do I always forget how to do that? Okay, so for me, it says What I find when business owners reach out, no documented client onboarding process. They have email templates from 2019 that nobody uses. The systems are in their head. I don't know how many owners I work with where the systems in their head. Different team members doing the same task 3 different ways. Critical information scattered all across 8 different tools. You can't automate what doesn't exist. You can't scale when it isn't optimized. So these are the issues and the problems that I was finding in my industry and what I wrote the post about. So as you can see, this isn't just a post on, an inspirational quote. This is specifically telling what the problem is and how they can fix it. So optimized systems examples ready for automation, client onboarding. If you have a clear 7-step process, templates for each step, hands-off points, all that other stuff. So here's the automation process. This is the audit. This is what business owners can ask themselves. In this post was helpful that I can send to someone who's considering automation, because if they don't have the processes, we're not going to be able to work together. So how can someone check and see if they have it? Documentation. Can someone else complete this process using only written instructions? Consistency. Do all team members handle this the same way? Predict. I can't speak today. Being predictable. Can you estimate time, resources for each step? Measurable. Do you track success metrics for this purpose? Ownership. Is it clear who is responsible for each step? So this is what I've seen in my industry. What you're going to do is see what you see in your specific industry. In that, if you answer no to any of these questions, optimize before you automate. And this is having them be able to go through a checklist. And so with this, it had a lot of comments from other people in the AI space because they noticed this was the issue with a lot of their clients as well. So what's my point with that? This particular post, I will probably send it to businesses so they can check and see if they have these things handled before we think about automation. If they don't, we'll talk about their processes. This is another one that I use to reach out to attorneys. It says very clearly, attention attorneys, right? Your secure legal AI tool are already in your enterprise subscription. What is this? I know with working with attorneys, financial advisors, all of that other stuff, they are really concerned about privacy. And there's a lot of tools that are out here. Most businesses are either working on Google infrastructure or Microsoft, period. So when they have to go to these various third-party companies, it's a lot of people switching data and different people have access to the data. So for lawyers and people in the professional services, they don't like that. So if they're already attorneys, they already have a secure Microsoft and a secure Google account, which means you can basically just create functions within that. It's some technical jargon, but because I know that, I had to write that in such a way so that attorneys can see that. So that's why that's like that. Okay. So if you're using these platforms, you already are paying for the foundation of your legal AI workflows. Most of them already have 365. They have 365 Legal. They have Google Workspace Enterprise, all this other stuff. I know that working with attorneys, what they have. So this is already showing that this person already knows my industry. And they're telling me something that I didn't know I could do. I thought I had to go out and pay some software. You mean to tell me I can just put some code in the back end and get all this and keep all my clients' data with me? Why, yes, you can. So when I send this, I send it to let attorneys know that this is a possibility. And if they're interested, we could chat. But do you see how much value that this little post was? This isn't even an article. It goes all into it, secure critical checklist, all this stuff. This is something that I send, but before I ask anyone for a meeting, they're looking at my page, seeing content that's helpful to them. So that's what I hope you understand during this process. Instead of trying to just reach out to people first, you want to give them content and information and value so that they want to do business with you. Like, people don't just want to do business with strangers. They want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And how are they out here just trusting strangers, right? That's not safe. So you got to show them at least something to make them feel like working with you would be a good idea. So I hope that's helpful on the post examples. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Okay, so I'm going to show you my LinkedIn generator to show you how I create these posts, right? Now, if you have to do it manually, you can. You do not need, why can't I get this, y'all bear with me because it's, okay, it was too close. Okay, so yes, I love that. She said content equals street cred. Exactly. So yeah, so I'm gonna show you the LinkedIn generator that I use. And so I built this for myself. A lot of the AI tools that I created for business owners, I had the problem. And so I went ahead and created it. So you can use ChatGPT or Claude. I like Claude better when you have to do anything writing style wise, but you need to have a situation where you can upload all the information about your business to, without getting too technical, retrieval augmentations is like, so you without being okay, you want to put it into the cloud or a database that has all your information so that when you need to make a request to the large language model, it's taking all of your information into account before it submits its answer and it gives its output. Okay, so when you have like code to do that, so I'm basically using an API from Claude. Like I said, I prefer them for this type of thing. And it has all my information in the back end. It knows what I do, who my ideal client is, what they're struggling with, because I programmed all that information in the back end of the Google Doc. And so if that makes it so I don't have to keep starting from scratch every time I do this. But if you have to do it and it's not in your budget, you can do this manually. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but please commit to it, because this is a thing that is going to bring you out of obscurity if no one comes to your LinkedIn profile. Like even right here, you can see over the past, how long is this over? Is this over? What are my impressions? They're down for the past 7 days. So over the past 7 days, I had 758 impressions. That is really good over 7 days. No, people's website doesn't get that many impressions over 7 days. And what have I done in the past 28? I'm just curious. I'll go do this. I usually do this on Sunday, and I suggest you do the same. You want to know what your impressions are. You want to write that down. You want to make sure that everything's happening and you seeing how you're growing, or what posts resonate with your ideal client. Please look at your impressions. So over the course of 28 days, I had almost 3,000 impressions. I before had none. Okay. Oh, wait, you're not seeing my screen. I'm sorry, babies. Hold on. You're not even seeing my screen. Okay, there we go. So this was so this was over the last 7 days, which I'm down. Let's do 7 days. So over the past 7 days, I'm down 16%, and I had 758 impressions over the last 7 days. But see right here, this is what you want to write down and you want to figure out. This particular post, I don't even know what it was. I got to find out what that was. A lot of people liked it. Okay, so you can take this and find out. Oh, you can tell me what it was. Okay, this was the automation. This was the one on the EU AI Act post. Okay, so this one had more impressions from last week. So what I could do, if I saw that this had more impressions, I can create more content around this if I wanted to. So those are the type of things you want to see. But if you don't have any content up here, you can't get any stats. You can't figure out any of this stuff, right? So this was over 7 days. Let's just look over the past 28 days, see what happened. And this is over the last 28 days. So I had almost 3,000 impressions. And then here you can see these peaks, find out which posts those were, because these clearly resonated with more people. So you want to be able to look at this, write this down weekly. What I typically do, I will write down my stats while I'm creating my LinkedIn post for the week. Okay, so again, if you don't have any content on there, you don't have anything to measure to know where you're going and what's happening. And so when more people are coming to you, you're showing up in search more. And again, at the beginning, I started this in January, nobody looked at my stuff. Okay, in 1 month, no one ever saw it. I'm telling you that so that you won't get frustrated when people aren't looking at it. But you want to make sure you're also creating content that is logical to the audience in which you are trying to get to communicate with you. Okay, we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to show you my LinkedIn generation system. Do we have any questions before we do that? Once we do that, what's next? What are we doing next? Then we're going to talk about posts for connections. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see what we got here. Any questions? Nope. All right, so now, so this is basically what I did. So since it's Sunday, we're doing this live. I'm going to show you what my typical Sunday activity is in the morning. When I'm having breakfast is when I prepare my LinkedIn posts for the week. I schedule them out for the whole week. Okay, so this is kind of what I do. I just keep a note, this is just an Apple note of just like ideas I have throughout the week if something happens. And so some things kind of happened last week that I wanted to talk about this week. So if you're following me on LinkedIn, you'll see my post this week. So I wrote down some notes because, hold on, I can't think and copy at the same time. So a lot of people are trying to ramp up sales right now because the economy is weird. And so they want to jump on discovery calls. And I had a couple incidences last week that I will talk about in my post. And so for this, the content, this is usually the information that I want to put into the post. And the reason why this is important is because you are educated in your particular field. And this is where you can show that you know what you're doing. So I've already done this post. That's what you'll see here. But this is what I copied from my Apple Notes. It says you have no excuses not to know more about your potential client before hopping on a discovery call. Oftentimes, first of all, this is going to have a whole bunch of typos and foolishness because this is just me writing notes in my Apple Notes. Oftentimes, marketers and salespeople, want to jump on a call and it feels like they don't know the problem, blah, 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 because that happened to me last week and I was annoyed. And a lot of stuff on lead generation is getting good reviews on my LinkedIn post. So this is about lead generation. So that's the content. And this is the stuff, of course, that I know. It's how I felt. And that's what I put. So I could put the type of post that I want. If I want this to be a problem to solution, which will address pain points and provide a solution, myth busting, case study, step by step. It's just me ranting, so I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. I don't have a call to action. And so this is what I did earlier this morning. And let me show you, push you through the post. Giving this information is what happens when it goes through the AI. So it's still my thoughts. It's just AI makes it more eloquent. So it says, we've all been there. You scheduled a discovery call and immediately know the person hasn't done their homework. They are asking basic questions about your business. They are literally on your website. It feels like they just want to sell you something, not solve the problem. That's the biggest waste of everyone's time. With AI, you have no excuses for this laziness. Here's the automation I built that researches every perspective automatically. When someone schedules a discovery call, AI research automation triggers. Complete client brief lands in the inbox. So here I'm saying what happens, what the automation does, and the benefit. So you get to know about your client. It just shows up in your inbox. So what this whole post is showing people that I know what I'm doing, and then a potential way they can use AI that they may not have considered before. So this literally goes through the process. You take an AI client research automation, you take a client integration, Perplexity AI. So I'm saying how I would do it, right? And then from that, what happens before? So tell me about your business. After, I see you're handling 300 plus client onboard monthly. The manual process must be creating bottlenecks in your growth. This is just showing how. Hold on, y'all. You said my volume is not. Hold on. Let's see what's happening. Can you guys hear me? I know there's a delay. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Is this volume good? Testing. Give her time to check chat. Mic might have been pushed. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Are we having technical difficulties? Talk to me. Better now. Testing. Okay, now you're louder. Okay, good. Back to normal. Boom. Okay, so, all right, let's go back to it. And if I drop, I'm looking at the chat, okay? So let's try it again. Where is the scene with, okay. All right, we're good. We missed the nuggets. Oh no, don't miss the nuggets. Okay, so I don't even remember where we started or stopped, but here we go. Here's one of them. Let me just show you what the post was. So this one, you have zero excuses, blah, blah, blah. We did that one. I feel like we did that one. Okay. And so this one, this is a frustration I had of people wanting to do discovery calls. And I'm not the target audience. And so they come in there, they want to DM and they send you a link to get on their calendar for 20 minutes. Like, I don't even know. I'm not your ideal client. Why are you on here? So this was something that I had experienced. You guys can see. You guys, can you read that? Come on, Sam, get it together. Command. Okay. Is that better? Ooh, that's big. Girl, let's break that back a little bit. Okay. All right. So this was something that had happened, and I put the technique I want you to do, I put that in the post, which if you're following me on LinkedIn, you'll end up seeing this post this week, because this is what I wrote. And so the response is, stop asking strangers to jump on a call with you. You're killing your credibility before it even starts. It's like asking someone to marry you on the first date. Problem: most consultants are doing LinkedIn outreach backwards. They slide into DMs asking for calls with complete strangers. They expect busy CEOs to give them 30 minutes based on a cold message. They sound like every other salesperson trying to close the deal. I'm stating what the problem is first. This is whether you are doing... We got Tanya, who's teaching English. What is the problem that you see so often with your students? What is the problem that you see with your industry? Enter here. Then what is the solution? Saying, show, don't tell, then ask. Instead of begging for calls, demonstrate your expertise first. Write posts that solve your target client specific problems. Create content for each industry you want to reach, which I just showed you how I did that with attorneys, right? Build a profile that proves you understand their world. It's been so many times when someone would send me something from LinkedIn and they want to hop on a discovery call. I go to their profile and it's empty. You want me to take 20 minutes out of my day so that I can try to figure out why we getting on a call together? That doesn't even make sense. So allow people to be able to vet you, figure out all those things before you even reach out with them. Have it so that they want to reach out with you, to you, because you gave them some information that was actually helpful for them, right? So let them know, let them come to you, all that other good stuff. You see that post and you see how it's bolded and it has, oops, what did I do? Lord, it's bolded and it has all of the characters and things that it needs to have too. Let's make that bigger because it's got all over the place. Me and my funky hands. It has all the formatting that's necessary so that this can stand out. If you see at the beginning, there's a couple things I want you to look at. Let's look at the other one. Every one of my posts has a hook. Okay? Every post has a hook, because if someone is on their mobile device or wherever, they're doing this with their thumb, right? So you have to be able to give them something that will make them stop. You have zero excuses not to know your prospects before hopping on a discovery call. Ooh. And if somebody who didn't know anything about their prospects and they hopping on discovery calls, they may be like, oh, what's she talking about? And they'll stop. Right? Why? We've all been there. You schedule a discovery call and immediately know the person hasn't done their homework. Oh, you haven't done your homework on a company and then you want that company, then you want money. What? So that was a frustration that I was experiencing. And I was saying how people can do this using what? Automation, because that is my specific industry. But you talk about your problem that you see in your industry and how you specifically solve it. And then through that, again, when someone schedules a call, an AI research automation triggers. It researches them with Perplexity AI. Then it generates a full report and then it emails the person's information to your inbox, right? So I'm talking about the problem. I'm talking about how I solve it. So just imagine, I have 8 months of these posts. Now I do, but I didn't before. Ha ha. I didn't before. Everyone had to start with one. I'm asking you to go ahead and start, please, please, please. But this is the generator, so you can see how disgusting. Like I'm basically just ranting and raving in here. Like I'm just saying stuff here, but I'm putting things that I do. So from this foolishness, it ends up pushing out an actual formatted post. Now, again, I don't have to put in the prompt that I do automation because it's already trained on my information. It's trained on my case studies. It's trained on all of that because all of that is stored in the back end. And I can kind of quickly show you what that kind of looks like. It also has a Google Cloud function, but we're not going to get too technical. So as you can see, there's a bunch of code in the back end of this sheet. And that is what makes this work, right? The code that's in the back end. But that's what gives it this menu so I can generate a LinkedIn post. I can show what type, if I want to have a particular type of post, if I want to do a problem solving post, a myth busting, case study, whatever. I didn't feel like doing that today, so I just did a post. I didn't do a call to action. If you do a call to action, that would be implemented into the post, and of course your post type. Now, if you have statistics that you want to put in your post, anything you want to put in your post to add it and make it beautiful and make it all informational and that type of stuff, stick it in the content area. And then it'll just spit out this stuff. Let me make this smaller because now it's too big for me. Okay, so then now what do you do, Cinnamon? So now you basically copy this and you come over here to LinkedIn and then you just schedule your posts. Let's just do this real quick. And I schedule my post. What am I doing right here? I think my camera's in the way. So we're going to go over here to edit, and then we're going to hit paste, match, and style. Okay, so this makes sure all those bodes and those cute little formatting that I put in the back of the code, and make sure it's going to show up. See? Ta-da! See how there's bold and they're beautiful bullets, but it's still kind of messed up a little bit on the thing. So I still got to manually come in here and fix stuff like this. So I got to hit that, and then I think that's all that made a mistake there. Okay, we're good. Okay, so then that's the post. And then I come here, I schedule. So again, I usually do 11:30 again, because it's like 7, 8-ish or whatever for the East Coast. And then it works for Europe because Europe's usually going to lunch around 11:30, 12. All right, so then I just schedule it, and I schedule a week of these, right? And if you click here, you can click, oh shoot, I just did, anyway, that was just an example. It'll show you all your posts for the week. So I need to do the rest for tomorrow. So the stuff you saw today, you'll see it in my post for this week. Does that make sense? Is everybody getting that? Are we good? If this is helpful, give me some likes. I only have 33 likes, guys. And do you not like this stuff? All right, so where are we now? Content pillar, we did that. LinkedIn generator. Okay, so if you make your money on LinkedIn, I can build this for you. If you're a solo entrepreneur and you don't make your money on LinkedIn, it may not be cost effective. Just do it the manual way and use ChatGPT or Claude. I usually do this for CEOs and like them marketing on LinkedIn is critical. So that's usually what the market is for. But also in your industry, consider if you can create an AI tool that will help people in your industry. So I know I keep bringing up Tanya because she shared who her audience is and all that other stuff. But Tanya, you can easily kind of create some AI tools for helping people learn English and sell the tool instead of your time. And that is what a post I did for the attorneys, which I think I showed you guys last week, of how I showed attorneys that they could use an API to basically create a system that has all the information and people can just connect to it, ask it questions with the help of large language model, but it's on a database that the attorney knows, right? You pull all that together and you can create various AI tools and charge for the tool in addition to whatever works. So it's another stream of income. So really consider things like that. What are we talking about now? Okay, so we have the LinkedIn post. We have that. Okay. Any questions we have so far? Okay, everybody can hear me now. No, you didn't, Paulette. You didn't miss the nuggets. I hope I went over it. Okay, important wrap. Okay, so I think what do I need you guys to do now? So we're going to talk about content. Are we taking another break? Let me see. So, talked about the algorithm. Okay. All right. So before we connections for posts. Okay. So we're going to go back to the search feature. Let's go back and say accountants again. And again, we're going to use the all features search. We're going to hit first, second, and third. And this is just an example. Actually, let's do one of the examples you guys talked about. It sounds like many of you would need the HR person, right? So let's look at the HR manager. And let's do all filters. Let's do first, second, and third. Let's do United States. If you're doing U.S., please get more specific than it's like the specific state. Y'all know mine is just like this because I'm in Portugal. English. And then you can put the various titles here. So I put HR manager, but maybe they're called something else. You can type that as well. And then we're going to hit show results. Now, what we're talking about doing right there, this is after you have created content for like 1 to 3 months, which means you have a good amount of content if you've been doing it every day. I was posting every single weekday, but again, I was using AI, so it made it so much easier. If you're doing it manually, it might be a little bit harder. So again, now you're going to go and do some research. Now, this is you would want to do it based off state. Right now, I have the whole United States, which I do not recommend. Don't do that. So let's just pick one of these folks. And Small Business Administration, HR. Okay. So if you, for the young lady who was doing the wine events for corporate, most likely you're going to find HR people who are local to your city and state. And if they are active, you can start engaging with them, like some posts, see what they see. You can come here to show all posts and see some of the things that they tend to post about. Exciting news, we're hiring. So for me, I would pay attention to this to see what positions they're hiring for, because that usually means they need help in those positions. It doesn't necessarily mean they're hiring people, but they will usually hire a contractor to do the work, because that's just where the U.S. is right now. They're not hiring people. They're hiring contractors because it's temporary. At any rate, you see all the stuff that they need, what's happening, going on in their world, and how you can kind of benefit from that. Some people may put their vacation photos. And if, again, when you're in wine, is there a wine from that particular place where they visited? Maybe they'd be interested to know. That can get your foot in the door. The whole thing about this is to behave like you're dating. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just be humble and lead with value, and not just like, hey, can we jump on a call? Or I sell this. Can you, like, don't nobody care. So make people care initially, but make sure that you are surrounding yourself, or you're doing the connections with a position that you can actually work with, right? So again, if you are understanding that, that's why I'm saying you don't necessarily want to connect with your friends and family, because they're not going to be your customers. You want to connect with the people who can actually get you potential positions. Once you're communicating, you can find out, you can ask something very easy, like, what's the process for vendors to do business with the company? That's a normal question. It's an annoying question if you haven't developed any rapport first, because a lot of small businesses are probably reaching out to the HR manager and leading with what they want. So most companies, there is a division that if, you may need to get a certain insurance, or you may need to do this with RFPs, those type of things, you want to know that, right? And so asking that question is not odd, but just, lead with some way that you could be helpful first. Okay, do we have any questions? How often do you aim to post a week? I post 4 times a week, but when I first started, I post every day for 5 days. Yes, I posted too early. What you mean, crypto fan? You posted too early. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so guys, you see how you find your connections and you find the people in your industry, and then once you start connecting with more people, then you can connect with more people because it's all interconnected on LinkedIn. It's not about an algorithm of who interacted with this, and it's LinkedIn is a different animal, but this shows you how you can actually search for those people. So again, you're going to use the content that you created to send to people as an opening. You're going to lead with value, and the reason why I had you do the foundation and stuff earlier is because if you don't know who your ideal client is, you can't create content that solves their problem. You're just going to be creating generic content that doesn't land with anyone, and that's not what you want. So you want to make sure that if you know who your ideal client is and what their problems are, you can write content that specifically speaks to their problem, so that when you're introducing yourself to someone, you're introducing yourself at the beginning like a problem solver, not like someone who's annoying and wants to waste my time. You are approaching this situation like a problem solver. And that is the best way to approach any situation, particularly when you are trying to do business with corporations, because corporations pay to have their problem solved. Okay. All right. I see we have some questions. Let's go back to our question section. All right. Let's see what we happened. Okay. How often do you, I already answered that when I post. Now I post 3 or 4 times a week. And when I first started, I did it 5 times. Okay. I had 2 questions earlier. Okay. Crypto. Let's see what we got. If we have a business page, does it make sense to publish the content? No, it's not that it doesn't make sense, but just statistically, most people don't care about the business page. It doesn't, even looking at research that LinkedIn and other channels have done, the business page doesn't get as much, it doesn't get as much love as personal pages. And to be honest, people want to deal with, people they know, like, and trust. And with corporations, nobody trusts in corporations right now. So I would say if you're going to do the content, put it on your personal page, content, and then share the business page with your post. No, so if you're the person who's sharing a lot, it's not helping with your algorithm that much. So post it directly on your page. Once people like you, they could care less what your business is called. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you show that you're solving the problem and that you know what you're talking about, they want to work with you. Even if they don't get to work with you personally, they want to work with you. And so whatever the company's name is or whoever they write the check to, they don't really care. And it's a little bit more work. So just focus on having your personal profile solid. Even those of you who have a job, you want to make sure that you show that you're valuable, so that even if you lose your job, you are still adding value to your industry, and this is how you're doing it. So consider that. I hope I answered. Okay, you got some more questions. Okay, good. And if anyone else has any questions, let me know. The business page. Okay, hold on. Do you jot down your ideas right so do you saw the Apple Notes thing that I have? That's what I do. I stick everything in Apple Notes. So I'll put, if something happens throughout the week, I'll put it in an Apple Note and just literally dump it. Like, I don't punctuate it. I'm just like, blah, this happened. Or like if a client emails me and they're like, oh, this went great, and like, blah. So I just let that happen just so I can get it out my brain. And I might do a voice note, right? That's how I get it out. And then I know on Sundays is when I do this. Sundays is when I sit down and I create the content. I would recommend that you pick a day that you know you're going to do this, because if you don't, it's going to be really hard to be consistent. So I just know that's my day. Sunday is my day. And that's usually when I journal and do all my other stuff anyway. So that's Sunday just ends up being my day. Pick a day. I would say pick it over the weekend. I know people are like, oh, you don't want to work over the weekend, but it's like everything's down. You're not getting email. You could just relax. So Sunday is my day. And I jot it down in my Apple Notes if it hits me in the middle of the week. So do you choose specific times to do your brainstorm ideas? Time? No. Day? Yes. It's always Sunday. Okay, thanks for covering the personal page. Let's see. Okay, thanks for covering the personal page versus the business page. Sure thing. I hope it was helpful. Yes. So we have the post and we have the connection. So again, you're going to do your post first because that is the foundation. And then when you try to get your connections, you should already have content on your page that matches. And that's how you're going to do your connection. So right now we are going to do another break. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type them down. And what are we doing during this break? Do I know? I forgot. Hold on. We talked about, oh, yes, you're going to write your first post. Okay. Today is Sunday. You don't have to do your post on Sunday. But today is Sunday and you here with me, so why not do your post? So you know who your ideal client is, right? You know, you got your heading, you got all of the things. So you can write your first post. And during this break, go get your snacks, walk around for a little bit because we've been here. We're doing great, guys. Like our timing is really good. So I will stick around for as long as we need for questions. But we're going to do a break. Get your post together. And if you want to share your post, that'd be big. That'd be even better. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back. Okay, we got a couple questions. Let's answer the questions. Session is This session is the bomb. Oh, thank you so much, crypto fans. So glad you're enjoying it. I hope everybody. I know it was a lot of information we went over. Please tell me that some of it is at least helpful, and you got a plan when you're gonna leave. Okay, question. All right. Okay, what platform are you using to stream? This is great. I need one for my online teachings and consults. The software I'm currently using is Ecamm Live. YouTube. What's that question? I don't understand. It's a platform to connect. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, most of the streaming software, you can use StreamYard, Ecamm. I think another one's called Restream. I started with StreamYard. Ecamm can be a little technical. So if you haven't streamed before, I would say you could start with StreamYard and then Ecamm. Or if you feel like learning a little bit, because you can see how clumsy I am, right? With the scenes and everything. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Tanya. Hey, Tanya. I'm not super tech savvy, but how can I learn how to create English AI tools for companies? So you don't necessarily have to be technical. You can get someone else to do the technical part. You just got to figure out what problem are you solving. So what's the problem you're solving first? So like even for me, for the tools that I have been making for me and other people, I knew what my problem was. I knew what I wanted to solve. So I made it. So first determine what is the specific problem that you're solving. And then the technical aspect, you can go on like freelance sites and get somebody to code it for you. So don't let that stop you. You don't have to be technical. I wasn't before. Same question as Tanya, but for early childhood educators. Okay, so what is the issue? What is the problem you're solving for early childhood educators? What's the specific problem? And then you can decide how AI can solve that. An AI product that won't, okay, wait, I think you answered something. Hold on. An AI product that wouldn't be offered by an ed tech company. Well, what's the problem, love? You got to tell me what the problem is. And then you can figure that. Okay, it says also receiving an error message when trying to link to Cinnamon's LinkedIn profile. Really? Some of y'all came and said hey to me. Let me throw the LinkedIn again. Is that the button? Let me know if you have any issues. It could be that the chat in YouTube is being a hater, because I can't see none of y'all links. I thought y'all were gonna be able to switch the links with the people, so I will fix that for next time. We are wrapping up, but I'll stay here as long as you need me. Let's see. You received an error too. Oh, okay. I hope it works now. Khadijah, yeah, sure thing. Follow me. Also, here's also for anyone coming late, here's the link for the Google Sheet. All of this is also going to be in the description for anybody who's watching the recording. All right, so now we got our foundation, right? We got the heading. We got a cute little about section, because I hope y'all didn't just listen and you went and did the thing and stuck it in your LinkedIn, right? From month 3 to 4, now you are pitching. You are asking for connects to your ideal client. And then when they come see you, they're going to see what you do and understand and be like, oh, I'll connect with this person. Now, month 5 to 6, that's when you're really, really, really going to market, right? And so if you are there yet, send me a message before and I can tell you what you do. But I feel like the people who are with me live, we don't need to focus on that. I could be wrong, but let me know. Okay, so now the last we're talking about is measuring your optimization so that you can adjust things accordingly. And wait, do I have another question for examples? Okay, let me put this up here. Okay, Tanya. So, for example, Spanish speakers have problems with pronunciation of English words. True, right. So, what do you want to show? So, like, do you want to give them something where they can hear it and then try to, do it themselves? Are you thinking this is an app? Like, how get a little bit more specific, because if you do something too general, you're going to end up creating this big, huge application, right? And that is within itself. So if you want something AI, a lot of the AI software that's happening now is, you can have an AI talk to you, it can listen, it can correct, you can do that type of thing. Many companies are offering that. For the clients that you currently have, what are their specific issues? Obviously, with speaking any language, pronunciation is often going to be an issue. But when you speak with your students specifically, what do you find to be the obvious issues so that you can kind of push that in your marketing as well? So for example, what I've learned is that people who speak native Portuguese, saying the TH sound that we have in English is a challenge. A lot of times they can't or struggle with the TH sound. So things like thought and thinking ends up sound like sometimes sinking and stuff like that, right? So even when you're doing your marketing, even if you Google right now on YouTube and type how to say TH in English, you'll see tons of videos on that, because that's a huge issue for people who aren't native English speakers, and the TH is not a sound in their language, right? So when you get that specific, you're able to create content where the person who needs that sees it and they're like, oh yeah, I need that, right? So get very specific into the specific problem, and you can test that out. But in most language, there's a pronunciation and kind of like a listening issue, and there's an issue between their native language and the words that they don't have, and then the words that they have to learn. So what is it that you're solving is, I guess, what I would need. I get what the problem is, and I'm sure everybody, corporations know what the problem is, but how do you want to solve it specifically based on your expertise of what you know from the people you work with? Once you figure out how you can solve that specifically, the technology behind it won't be hard. You could just find someone to do that part. Okay, we got some more questions coming in. Hold up. Okay. What does that say? I have to type in Cinnamon's LinkedIn address as it appears in the break slide. Oh, my link's not working? That's lame. I didn't know my link's not working. Our alphabets. Vowel sounds, long sounds. Okay, pronunciation in general. Everybody speaking a language, they have an issue, right? Every language. How are you saying to solve it based on your expertise? From the clients you work with, how do you make them fix their pronunciation? Is it something specifically that you know that your clients are getting stuck up on? And then that, you can try to transition that into a product or a tool once it's clear what the problem is. This is why it's live. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so what do we have? It says, I'm also an American immigrant in Lisbon. I've just launched a new freelance business in social media design. Where should I focus, market, US, EU, or both? That's going to be a personal decision, love. You can do both if you want to. I personally am trying to remove myself out of the US as much as possible. Because I'm not confident in where the US dollar is going to go. So it makes me more comfortable to stick with EU and UK clients. That is my personal preference. So you'd have to decide what you feel comfortable with. I can't answer that one for you, love. But okay, is that all the questions we have? And if you have more questions, throw them in later. No problem. We're still here. Okay, so let me just quickly, we're going to wrap up on the LinkedIn stuff because I need you to take some analytics as you watch over the course of your time. Okay, wait. Where are we doing? We are doing a screen share. So where's my screen share? Where's my screen share? Let's see what that button does. So a lot of the stuff that you guys are seeing me do is because I have a stream deck over here. It's a big, I can't get you to see it. Can I? Let me see. This may end up going horribly wrong. And it's dirty. I didn't clean it from last time. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. So that is the buttons that I push to help me do the stuff. Because that was helpful, right? Those are the buttons and stuff that helps me get where I need to go in this situation. Okay. All right. So real quick, the measuring success and optimization. Again, as we discussed earlier, you are going to 1 month to 3 months, you're going to build your foundation. 3 months to 4 months, you're going to interact and you're going to pitch, you're going to make your connections. But because you have content and you know how to solve your customer's problem, you're going to have good content. You're going to have the connections you need to start to sell. And so now you can start to pitch and market what you do, but you want to pay attention to certain metrics, right? So again, did I put the Google? For those of us who's just joining me, let me make sure. When I put the Google link in here, are you guys able to open it? Put it in there again. Because you guys couldn't open my LinkedIn link. I'm worried you can't hit my links. What and why? Okay, sorry. Stay focused, Cinnamon. Okay, so here are the analytics that you want to make sure that you are paying attention to. You want to pay attention to your profile views. Why does this matter? Your followers, look at me, your followers, unlike any other social media situation, your followers do not matter. It's your connections that matter on LinkedIn. Because remember when we did the search, right? Do I need to show you guys that again? When we did the search, you are able to search based on who you're connected to. If you're not connected to a bunch of people, that are in your industry, it's going to be hard for you to get to them. That is what LinkedIn does so that you won't be spamming and driving people crazy right now. If you do want to spam, you would have to upgrade your account or purchase something like the Sales Navigator so that you can reach out to people who are not connected with you, but you're paying for that, right? But if you want to do this organically, you want to first develop the contact so that when you organically want to connect with someone, they'll go to your profile and be like, okay, yes, I can connect with this person. So that is what you want to consider. So you're looking at your profile views, not your followers. How many times are people coming to your profile? Let me see. I think I got something up here for stats. Let me show you. Okay. So what is it? So these are some statistics you can care if you want to, but it doesn't do too much. Your top demographic for me, the company size usually has 51 to 200 employees. Company size, it's not really a big thing to me. Location, London is, which I'm happy with because you know I love working with the UK and stuff. Again, the UK, for those of you who live in Europe, the UK, their currency is worth more than euros. It's 20% more than US currency and it's 10% more than euros. So I love getting UK clients and they're so nice. I love them. So the fact that I'm showing up with UK is good to me because that's what I want to show up. I want to show up more. Now, right now I'm at 10%. I want to get that at least up to 30% by the end of the year. So I need to fix that. Okay, so here are the people: senior, entry, owners, VPs, and UI people are the ones who typically reach out to me. Now, pay attention to this. Senior people are what's coming to me. That's important. That means I did something right because the senior people are the one who can make the decisions. That's the top of my people. I don't have a lot of entry people looking at my content. And seniors looking at my content means that I'm putting stuff that solves problems, which is why they reach out to me. I also do LinkedIn posts for CEOs and founders and stuff, so that's also why they're there. But that being at 44% is what I want. So these are the type of analytics that you want to watch over time so that you know how to adjust your content. If it's not growing, if certain areas aren't growing, like if I didn't have anything in the UK, I would make, which I'm going to do now because I want it higher than 10%, I would make strategic posts dedicated to the UK so that I can get that number higher. Okay, if you never create content, you don't get stuff like this. You don't get analytics like this. You only get you only get a word you can say. You only get analytics like this when you create content. So this is why I'm telling you guys, you got to create content. Okay, but that's not why I'm here. Why am I here? Because I wanted to show you, what were we talking about? Sorry, y'all. Y'all know this live and my trains crash easy. So where were we? Okay, profile views. Good job, Cinnamon. Okay, so let me just go to my profile really quickly. Okay, so there is one that says profile views. I'm actually loaded this week. So this means that 76 people came over and looked at my profile over the past 7 days. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. This means that 76 people looked at my profile over the past 7 days, 770 post impressions, and then I showed up in search for 6 search appearances. When you are starting off, obviously you want this number to increase, right? That is what you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to when you created a connection, did they go over to your profile? Okay. If they don't go to your profile, then that means maybe your content isn't hitting the way it should. So your profile views are important, your connections, and your connection acceptance rate. So when you are searching for the connections of, like when we talked earlier with your HR folks, and if they're not accepting it, and a lot of people aren't accepting it, then that means that your something's wrong. It could be the content that's on your page. It could be how you're reaching out. Something's wrong. So you want to make sure your connection rate is good. Now your post engagement. So like I was just showing you, my post engagement is 767 post impression. That's impressions. Let's look at engagement. I don't know engagement. So my post impressions is down from last week. And I know why, because I did a post that people really liked last week. And the post this week, didn't nobody care about. Why am I here? Because I think I wanted to look at engagement, right? Is that why I'm here? Okay, let's see what engagement. I don't think my engagement's not too strong, I don't think. What do we got? 26 engagement. So that means somebody wrote a post, reposted your stuff, comments. So engagement's not that thick. And don't get all the way caught up on this, because your post that you send to people is also going to end up organically creating some analytics for you as well. So don't get all the way caught up on it, but I want you to record and so that you can see the progression. Okay, so you want to test headlines. If you want, don't do this in the beginning. Just keep it solid. This stuff is when you're at 6 to 8 months, right? And your monthly, how you optimize each month. How does it look? Are you keeping your information fresh? Or how's your content hitting? Is it going down? Like, start to look at those types of things. Turning LinkedIn into revenue. So one of the things you can do, which I feel like a lot of people don't take advantage of, I haven't done it yet because I haven't had time, but this post I thought did it really well. So most of the time you can see on posts where you can say book a consultation. Go ahead and put that on your page. I will do it. I haven't done it yet. So don't do as I do as I say. But the benefit of this is that most people are coming to LinkedIn pages more than they're coming to websites. So if you look at your website right now and actually look at your analytics, you probably see that it's a ghost town. There's not that many people going there, but there's probably more people coming here, and you can be closer to your potential client, particularly if you are creating content that they need and they want, right? So you're going to create the content that they want. You're going to have a very easy way for them to contact you or get more information or DM you. So make sure that you are doing that. There are some other, like LinkedIn has LinkedIn Live, which is also helpful. So the same way I'm going live on YouTube, you can do this on LinkedIn. So there's various types of engagement type of tools you can use. Right now on LinkedIn, the things that get the most engagement are video, like everywhere, and carousels. Saying that right? I've been on here too long. So those are the ones that tend to get the better engagement. And so I've even noticed that with my content, if I put an image or I put a video up, it's going to go to more people than anything else. So consider that and just kind of vary your content a bit and just test around, right? But yeah, make sure if you are doing some type of consultation, go ahead and put there. For your language folks, can people just go ahead and book a quick 15-minute session with you? If you teach language, there should be something online that shows me how would working with you look like. I do not want to test that out paying you first. So if you have people that you want to work with, if you want to work with corporations, what would a short lesson look like? And be sure to create a video about that. And then you can use that and you can send that to the HR or to the corporations. But again, make sure you're leading with value so people already know that they can work with you and what that would look like. Okay. All right. So where are we? I feel like value approach. We did that. Where's my screen share button? Okay, from LinkedIn connections. Okay, so I think we're good. Okay, so that's about it. We did great timing. Okay, I'm going to answer some of your questions, but talk to me. The thing about going live on LinkedIn is on YouTube is I can't get any feedback or hear you guys. So, and there's a delay. So I got to wait to see if there's any questions and if this is helpful. So I know we went over a lot, right? Oh, wait, did I miss some stuff? Did you guys ask questions and I couldn't? Appreciate the feedback. What was the question? Okay, yes, crypto fan. Yes, we can. Okay, so you can open the document. You just couldn't open my LinkedIn page? Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you so much for your experience feedback. Awesome. I'm so glad this is helpful. Okay, so now, what are we going to do when we get off of this? Okay, we not just gonna go not do nothing. Okay. Oh, Erica, that's so sweet. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate you. Okay, so what are we doing next? Can you type in the chat and tell me what you're going to do or what you need? I'll stick around for some questions. Here's the thing. We went through a lot, right? We went over a bunch of stuff. I hope you guys did not feel completely overwhelmed, but just to sum it up, from month 1 through 3, you are going to build content that is going, not just any content that is going to be relevant to your audience. Okay. Do not worry about who is following you. Do not worry about your connections at the moment. Right now, we are laying the foundation and you want to make sure that you are search engine optimized. So figure out the keyword that you want to be associated with so that you're writing content and you're making sure that that keyword shows up. If you automate this with a AI, I'm biased because I already created the tool for it. But if you automate this, it's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to need a lot of content, because these algorithms don't care about you when you're just starting out, okay? So build the foundation. Second, after you have the foundation, you got a beautiful house, right? Now you're going to start reaching out and interacting with people. Because what happens when you interact and when you pitch with people, they're going to go to your profile. And if they go to your profile and all you have is inspirational quotes and pictures of your kid's graduation, that does not show that you can solve a problem or that they should be paying you for anything, right? So you got to make sure that you have the foundation. Everything looks great. You have your about page, your headline shows the value that you create, right? And then you can market. And I'm going to be doing, again, y'all know I'm not no LinkedIn influencer or guru, right? I'm just telling y'all what I've been doing over the past, 8-9 months and what's worked for me. I'm going to do some different things to my LinkedIn, meaning just some graphics and some other stuff, just because now I already have the content. So now I can move to this section. See, because if you go to my page, all it has is my picture because you don't need all that other stuff, right? So I'm going to add a couple more things. It's not necessary. If you want me to show you and how I did it, then I'll do that. I know some people have asked about how to do all this foolishness that is in the back end. It looks like it's about to blow. We can do that as well. So tell me what you guys need in regards to content, and I'll try to create that for you. This is what I found to be super helpful, especially for getting close to a global market, because that was stressing me out watching the U.S. go through its things. So I'm going to stick around for questions. Let's see. What do we have? Okay. Again, thank you, Erica. I appreciate you. Next step. What's the next step? Next step. Transition profile content. I love it. Want more of it. Okay. Updating profile, creating 3 months of relevant content. Yes. Start strategically and connecting. I love it, Khadijah. I absolutely love it. I love it. Bang, Gotti, foundation and plant the seeds. Oh, y'all making me so happy. Awesome. You are so welcome, hon. Can we drop you it says, can we drop you a link of your profile for you to look at, or can we do a one-on-one with you, and how much is it? If you drop me a link, I can't. People just dropping me emails and I haven't had time to get to them. So, I don't know. What's the best way to do this? Do you guys think we should reconvene? Or if you want a one-on-one, I don't feel like I'm a guru with this. I could just tell you what I did, right? But if you want me to look at it, I'll be happy to help. So I don't know. I'll create some type of link for it. I don't think anybody would care. So we can reconvene and I'll figure it out. I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry. So I'll find a way and we'll make it happen. But do the work and then we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, crypto fan, no problem. Okay. Thank you for this session. Extremely helpful. Super, super happy to hear that. I'm so happy it was helpful. What about the speed? Do you think it went too fast? Do you think it went too slow? Let me know about that, because I thought this was going to take me 4 hours. I actually finished an hour early, which I'm happy about. Are y'all happy with that? Or do you think it went too fast? Okay, so tidy. I have to tidy up and get clear on problem. Yes, and solution. Please. Yes, yes, yes. And talk to chat. Chat can totally help you out with that. How do we? Okay, real question. How do we make it so that you guys can exchange information to support each other on LinkedIn? I don't. I thought you could just put your comments in the comment box, and that didn't seem to work. Now, I may have a setting on that I don't know that I have on, and if I can find out if I have that, I'll fix that for next time. Also, how are Sundays? Are Sundays better to do like a training like this, or are Saturdays better? Sundays usually when I'm in the house chilling, so Sundays work for me. I'm not doing that on a Saturday. I'm not teaching on a Saturday, so never mind. Forget that question because I'm not going to do it. Thank you for the experience. Okay, all right, cool. Extremely helpful. Oh, I love to hear it. I have to tidy up, clear the problem and solution. Perfect. I love to hear it. Okay, it has been great to be this time deliberate, feeling very productive already. I love that. Yay! De nada. Okay, you don't need to be. Let's say, Paulette. You don't need to be a guru. You just need to be the next chapter ahead after 9 months. Thank you, Paulette. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. You are so welcome, Amani. I think it went fine. Okay, good. Speed was good. Good to know. Next step, profile, video connect. Connect with companies in Mexico. Very, very good idea. South America and other Spanish-speaking country. Perfect. Great pace. Thank you, Khadijah. I appreciate that feedback, especially with including breaks. Good to know. Now, I'm curious, Khadijah, did you go do the work during the breaks, or did you just take like a break? Sundays are better. Good to know. Sundays are great. You guys rock. Okay, I'm heading out of here. It's been great. I appreciate you so much. I know you can be anywhere, and you decided to be here with me on your Sunday. Go out and kill it, guys. Please don't just watch this. Go do it, implement it, get your profiles if you want to. Shoot, Tanya, make sure that when you're creating posts on LinkedIn that you're doing it in Spanish as well. Don't just do it in English, so that you will show up in search for people who are speaking Spanish as their first language, or everyone else who posts in their native language of Spanish. Everybody else, if you're trying to get clients in Germany, France, Portugal, make sure that you are writing posts and content in both languages, okay? Super important, because when they search, naturally they're going to search in their native language. And if you're not showing up, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So do not forget to do that. That is specifically for you individuals who are doing the global thing. Okay. Oops. Let's see. It says, are there any AI sources and experts you recommend what? Next step? I think I'm missing some of your question. Recommend that we do what? Next step, update, headline. Yes. Concrete 3 months of content. Yes. Love it. I just started my marketing consulting, so this is good timing. Perfect. I love to hear it. Okay. It works. Snacked. Khadijah said, I worked, snacked, and braked. Love it. Okay. That's what I wanted. Okay. Great. Okay. You are so welcome. Angelic. Yes. Ingram. Love it. Thank you. Have a good Sunday. You have a good Sunday too. Yes, please recommend other AIs. Other AIs for what, love? Tell me what the AI is doing. Please recommend other AIs. AIs for what? You mean like large language models? To do what? What do you want the AI to do? Tell me that real quick, and then we're going to head out. Or did I miss it in... Tell me what you want the AI to do. For large language models, if that's what we're talking about, I recommend Claude for writing. I like ChatGPT for creating images and all that other stuff, especially if I want to do something really quick. But I'm not sure if that was your question. You guys, okay, all right. So I don't see a follow-up on that. So we're going to head out. Going in 10. I know we have a delay. All right, guys. So, okay, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. What did you say? Follow. Sorry. Are there any experts you recommend we follow? Okay. Experts in the AI. So, ones that you use. Okay. So, experts, it depends on what aspect of AI you want. So AI is this big general term, right? If you want experts in large language models, do you want them in automation? Then you should follow me. If you want it for like video generation, like what specifically for what aspect of it and what do you want it to do? And then I can possibly recommend some experts. I can recommend experts I look at for the stuff that's important to me. I'll try to, I'll create a little resource guide and get that going. Okay. So she said I was bumping. Oh, okay. I appreciate you. Ones that you use. Did I answer that, Paulette, in regards to if you're talking about like video generation? I use Kling. What else do I use? I use Google Nano. I'll create a list because that might be a little bit easier. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Lemon character doing shoulder shimmy dance. Oh, I gotta show. I can't see the reactions. Oh, thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. Okay, so Anita, what do we have? Anita, hey Cinnamon, I'm late this morning, but I do want to let them look at Udemy classes. They have a host all types of classes. Yes, there's another one, Udemy and something else. Corsica, I think is what it's called. So they definitely have some classes depending on. Listen, I have learned everything I need to learn off of the University of YouTube, right? Like everything. Like I'm telling you, YouTube has given me more value than that expensive college degree that I purchased. So don't sleep on YouTube as well. I think you just got to be really specific as to what type of AI you are interested in learning. And then you can get more detailed when you're searching, whether it be YouTube or wherever you want to search. For me, when I had to start learning about AI, the first part is that I had to go learn Python. And then from Python, I started creating tools for myself. And then I started creating tools for my friends who had businesses because I did not want to mess up and do something wrong on a contract that people are paying me for. I'd rather, do it with people I love and who know me and there was some safety there. So I did it with their businesses first before I went out in these streets doing what I do. So I think thinking about the transition there is a lot more helpful if you kind of do things in stages. I know the internet and social media makes it feel like you just add water and stuff happens, but in real life, in real business, it does not. So you have to plant the seeds. And the only thing that's going to happen if you don't plant the seeds, you're going to be struggling and stressed out later, and you're going to wish that you had done it. So I am hoping today, what you do and go and prosper. Sundays are your content days, if that helps. And whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube or what have you, I will also show you how I'm using LinkedIn for some other work that I'm doing, but we're not going to do that here. I'll do another workshop. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. It's been great. I had so much fun and we ended this early. So this is good. This is good. Okay, folks, till next time, you got all my links, everything. And yeah, so till next time.